Hi dear students, welcome back to AI with Python series. We have completed our first chapter and learned the basics or the fundamentals of programming, especially what programming is, how can we solve programs or problems, and especially what computer programs, right? Then different aspects of Python programming like data types, variables, operators, and some other important theory stuff. And now it's high time to look at the practical aspects of programming, right, or the implementation part of programming. So here we are heading to our second chapter, that is Python programming, and in this chapter we will be mainly looking at the programming in the sense how to implement programs, how to write programs, or how to develop computer programs in Python programming language or using Python programming language. And in this chapter we'll be looking at, or we'll be learning what actually Python is, and the what history of Python, then why Python programming language is used, and the features or the advantages of Python programming, then different components of programming like variables, operators, then data types, then functions and files. These are some of the things we will be looking at in this chapter. And okay, without spending much time on the introduction part or introductory part, let's move on to the topic. So in today's session we will be covering all these topics: what is Python, history of Python, then why Python is used in programming or programming world, then finally features of Python. And we can say features of Python makes Python one of the most commonly used programming languages in the industry. So let's look at what is Python. You know what actually Python is? Python is a computer programming language. So what is a language? And do we have any other language? Yes, other than computer programming language, the medium we human beings are used for communication, that is natural language, right? So there are two types of languages: natural language and computer programming language. Natural language is a language or is a type of language used by human beings for passing messages or for communication, right? For conveying messages or information or whatever it is. So it's a medium of communication used by human beings. But computer programming language, it's a different category, right? It's a different category of programming or a language used by computers or machines to understand, to interpret and to process. That means computer cannot understand natural languages like English, Malayalam, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, all that, right? Computer understand only computer programming language. So that's a type of language, category of language used by machines, or we can say computers, for processing or for performing actions, right? For performing some specific actions. So normally softwares are developed using computer programming language. There are around 45 to 50 computer programming languages available, like languages like C, C++, Java, Python, COBOL, BASIC. There are a lot of languages. C sharp means C sharp, then HTML, web based, okay, CSS, yeah, XML. There are a lot of languages available. Then Python, what is the specialty of Python? Python is very simple. Python is a beginner's language. That means it's a very easy, very simple programming language. So it will be very easy for you to learn as well. I'm pretty sure you all are eagerly waiting to learn Python programming, right? Yes. So Python is a computer programming language. There are two types of languages. One is natural language, that is Malayalam, Hindi, right, English, yeah. So natural language, and second is computer language, or we can say computer programming language. It's a language used by computers, right? Yes. So computer programming language are used for, or Python, specifically Python is used for software development as well as web development. Software development as well as web development, and it's used for what, general softwares as well as complex softwares, of course. Then used in web development, also used for in the world of what, web, okay, website, web pages. Yes, that's it. So this is what actually Python is. Python is a computer programming language, okay. Yes, other than natural language, computer needs some language that it can understand, right? Yes, that's what computer programming language is. And we have seen some examples for computer programming language. Yes. Then history of Python, brief history of Python. Of course, there should be a developer, right? Yes. We have a father, okay, for Python language, and a development year, okay, and some other basic aspects. Yes. So it's a high-level object-oriented programming language. So it's a high-level language. What is the meaning of high level? High level means we use English words. Okay, commonly used English words. We can see the presence of commonly used English words in computer programming language. Okay, commonly used English words like if, else, for, while, continue, return. Okay, else. Of course, these are some of the words used in programming, and that is what high level is. High level languages. Okay, high level computer language means we can see the abundance, presence of what normally using or commonly using English words. So it will be easy for us, right? It will be easy for a programmer to understand what it is. So we can see the presence of commonly used English words. That's what high level languages. Then what is object oriented language? Object oriented language means we model the real world, okay, or modeling the real world. What do you mean by modeling the real world? Taking examples from the real world. So what is the advantage of taking examples directly from the real world? Of course, we do understand each and every aspects of the real world entities or the real world actions, right? Yes. Okay, at present you can see, you're viewing me, right? Yeah, you're watching me. So you will understand what I'm talking, what it is, right? What is the content, everything, right? So it's even though it's virtual, you can feel it as real, right? Yes. So we are taking examples from real world. So it will be easy for a programmer to understand it easily, right? The concepts easily, because we are modeling the real world. We are modeling the real world. We are taking examples and we are working on it. We are not taking examples from somewhere else. We are taking examples from the real world. Okay. We are just automating them. We are just converting it to machine or machine format, or we can say computerized, right? Yes. So that's what object oriented is, modeling the real world. So these are the two key points of Python. It is a high level language, that means using commonly used English words. Then object oriented programming, that means modeling the real world. Programming will be easy, right? Yes. Then father of Python, Guido van Rossum. He is a father of Python. Okay, it was developed in 1991, and of course, okay, you must remember this. Okay, father of Python, Guido van Rossum, in the year 1991, derived from a language called ABC. That means Guido van Rossum derived or developed the programming language called Python from ABC. ABC itself is a programming language. Okay, so we can say it's an extended version of what? ABC, right? Python is an extended version of ABC. Yeah. Then of course, okay, why such a name? What is Python actually? Python is it's a reptile, right? It's a snake. Yes, but the name derived from what? Monty Python's Flying Circus. It's a series, right? It's a comedy series run by BBC. Okay, BBC. Yeah. So that's why such a name, right? Okay, Guido van Rossum taken the name from Monty Python's Flying Circus. It was a web series, or it was a series, comedy series run on BBC. Okay, yeah. So this is some basic facts or aspects of Python programming. Of course, let's have a look. High level object oriented language, Guido van Rossum, developed in 1991, then derived from ABC. ABC is a language, so it's an extended version of Python, is an extended version of ABC. Then of course name derived from Monty Python's Flying Circus. It was a comedy show run on BBC. Okay, yes. Then why Python? Why Python is used? Why we are learning Python? What is specialty of Python? What is that? Of course, I've already told you, Python is one of the most simple, most easy, most flexible programming languages. Okay, we can see the presence, or we can see the application of Python in almost all aspects of programming, right? Starting from normal software development to web development, right? These are two extremes. So it's used in almost every aspects of programming. Okay, computer programming. So why Python? The first point is Python works on different platforms. Okay, Python works on different platforms. Like platform means operating systems. You know, different operating system, right? Like Microsoft, then Windows, right? Microsoft Windows, then Linux based or Unix based systems, Linux, Unix. Okay, then Mac OS. Yes, these are some of the systems. So Python works same everywhere. That means Python is platform independent. Python is platform independent. That means Python is operating system independent. That is, a Python program works in Windows, works same in what? Linux or in Mac OS. Okay, hope you understood it, right? Yes. So Python works same everywhere, irrespective of the platform or the operating system. That's the first point. That's the most important point as well. Then simple syntax. What do you mean by syntax? Syntax means grammatical rules of a programming language. That's what syntax is. Okay, grammatical rules of a programming language. Of course, when we learn any programming language, any language, any natural language like English, we are most worrying about the syntax or the grammar, right? The grammar part. But here in Python, grammar is somewhat simple, or grammatical rules are somewhat simple, or syntax is simple. That's why that's a reason. That's a very reason for what Python as a simple language or the easiest language. Okay, it is we can say to some extent we can say Python is syntax free. Okay, yeah. So please don't bother about the syntax or the grammar. Okay, we are following some very minimum syntax here in Python. Yeah. So it follows simple syntax. Then write programs with fewer lines. That means less number of lines. For example, if you write a program in C, suppose it takes 10 lines. When we come to Python, it takes only 2 or 3 lines. Do you get me? Yeah. So that means we can run programs, or we can write programs in fewer number of lines or less number of lines. So it will be easy. We don't have to write 10 lines. We can finish off the program just by what, 2 or 3 lines. So it will be easy, of course, right? Yeah. Then uses interpreter. It's a new terminology for you, right? Yeah, interpreter. Interpreter means executed directly as soon as it is written. Okay, it execute the program directly. Executing means, what do you mean by execute? Another terminology is running. Okay, executing or running is a process of getting the result. Okay, that means Python uses interpreter. So soon after writing or completing the coding process, it will be executed and gives a result. Hope you get me, right? Yes. So Python uses interpreter, that is executed as soon as it is written. Executed as soon as it is written. So these are some of the points, okay, related to why Python is used in programming. Works on different platforms, or we can say works on different operating systems. So it is operating system independent, platform independent. Uses simple syntax, using simple grammatical rules, or to some extent we can say it's syntax free. Then write programs with fewer lines, less number of lines. Then uses interpreter, executed directly or as soon as it is written. Okay, hope you understood everything, right? Yeah. Now the most important part of today's topic, features of Python. Of course, the features of Python makes Python one of the most acceptable or the most widely used programming languages, right? Yes. So let's look at the points. Python is interpreted. We have already seen what interpreter is, right? Interpreter means what execute program directly as soon as it is written. Then Python is interpreted language. Python is an interpreted language. No need to compile before executing. That means it execute the program directly. Compiling means that is an intermediate step. Okay, that is an intermediate step before executing. So it doesn't need in what compilation process or compiling. Okay, soon after writing the program, you can get the result. That is what interpreter is. Okay, for the time being, you just understand this. There are so many other interpretations or so many other definitions for the term interpreter, but we'll not be heading to looking at those complex points. Okay, yeah, for the sake of understanding, you just understand this. No need to compile before executing. That means we will not have any intermediate step. Okay, we will not have any intermediate step. The program will be executed directly. That's it. Then interactive. Interactive means dynamic. What is dynamic? You can easily do the programs. You can have some interaction with the IDLE, integrated development learning environment. Okay, that's a platform on which we are working, right? Yes. So it adds some kind of interaction. Interaction means dynamic. It gives some responses. Okay, it will be readable. It will be in a readable form. It gives you responses. Okay, you can see the program or the code in different colors. That makes it interactive, right? Yes, it gives the response very quick. Okay, yeah. Then it gives you what I can make it simple. It gives you what the errors in lines. Okay, showing of the lines, everything. So it will be simple for you to correct it if there is any error. Okay, that's okay. One factor. Yeah. So it's interactive. Next, object oriented. Of course, we have seen what object oriented is. It models the real world. What is the advantage of modeling the real world? Of course, we know what happens in the real world, right? to most of the things. We know what happens in the real world. So just by taking those examples in programming, it will be easy for you to do the coding, right? Do the programming. So that's the advantage. Yeah. Then beginner's language. It's a beginner's language because it is simple, it is effective, efficient, and it is flexible. So it is beginner's language. And the key point here is it follows simple syntax. It follows simple syntax. When we compare English and Python, which one is having a more complex syntax or grammar? Of course, English, right? Yes, English. Okay. Python is having very minimum syntax. Okay. It is a minimal syntax language. We can say it's a very minimal syntax language. That means it has not much complex grammatical rules. So it will be easy for you to learn, right? Yes. And we all are afraid of what? The grammar part, right? The grammar part of a language. So here we don't have that grammar. So it will be easy for you to understand. That's the point. Okay. So these are the points, or these are the features, or we can say these are the advantages that makes Python one of the easiest, one of the most commonly used or widely accepted programming languages ever. Okay. Yeah. Then I've already told you it uses in software development, web development, all the trending technologies, as well as all the trending technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, then IoT, Internet of Things, edge computing. Everywhere you can see it. You can see the application of what? Python programming language. So it is that much used. So you have to learn it anyway, right? Yes, you can learn it easily. Okay, that's a key point here. So syntax, we have seen what syntax is: grammatical rules of a programming language. Then high level language, much like English, right? Much like English, we use commonly used English words. Yeah. Then some other points: high standard library, huge standard library. It has vast huge standard library. That means most of the things are already defined there in Python. Okay, we just have to use it. Most of the things are already defined in Python programming or in Python standard library, and we just have to use it. So it will be we can save lot of time, right? We can save lot of time and energy. Yes. So huge standard library is a key point, is a key part of Python. Then simple, easy, and flexible. It's a simple language, it's an easy language, it's a flexible language. Okay. So these are the topics for today's session. And let's have a quick revision of the topics we have discussed. Okay, Python programming, our second chapter. And what is Python? It's a computer programming language. There are two types of languages: natural language and computer language. Computer programming language used for software development, web development, and all the trending technologies. Okay, yeah. Then history. It's a high-level language. It's an object-oriented language. Then, of course, Guido van Rossum is the father of Python. Then 1991. Then derived from ABC. Then Monty Python's Flying Circus. It's a BBC comedy show. The name derived from that comedy show. Okay, yeah. Then why Python? Because Python is platform independent, works on a different platform. Same. Okay, yeah. Simple syntax, follow simple syntax. Then write programs with fewer number of lines, less number of lines. Then use interpreter. Okay, directly executing the programs. Then features: interpreter language, interactive. Of course, some sort of dynamic. Okay, yeah. Then object-oriented language and beginner's language. Okay, it's easy to learn. Then grammatical rules. Okay, syntax, high-level language, huge standard library, and simple, easy, and flexible are some other points. Okay, some add-ons to the topic. So this is all for the time being. You just go through all the topics. Okay, in the coming days or in the coming videos, we will be learning how to do programs. Okay, how to do programs and how to develop softwares. Okay, so for a better understanding of programming, you must have a thorough knowledge on or about the theory aspects. Okay, so just take it as an introductory part. So you must have a clear understanding, a thorough understanding of all the key points. Okay, all the new terminologies like interpreter, compiler, then high level language, syntax. We have learned so many new terminologies or terminologies. Okay, so you must have a clear, better understanding of all these. So this is all for the time being. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. See you in the next video. Take care.